What happens when you find your husband alive after 3 months of believing he was dead, and he looks at your face and says, "Do I know you?" I had spent 3 months grieving a man who was still breathing. The military had come to my door, 2 officers in uniform. I already knew what they were going to say before they opened their mouths. Daniel had been sent on a dangerous mission overseas. There had been an explosion. No one survived. I grabbed the edge of the table to stay standing. Then my sister Lily called me one afternoon, shaking. "Come to my house right now," she said. "There is something you need to see." And when she turned the phone screen toward me, and I saw the face of the man sitting outside that small clinic near the border with the mountains behind him, and the bandages on his shoulder, and the scar near his eyebrow that he got in military training 9 years ago, my whole body went cold, because that was my husband. And he was alive. What happened when I finally found him is the part I am still trying to understand. Daniel had been a soldier for almost 10 years, brave, disciplined, deeply loyal, but to me he was simply the man who made my world feel safe. The day the officers came to my door, I remember every detail. Daniel's jacket still hanging near the door, his coffee mug still sitting in the kitchen, everything in the house exactly the same, except he was gone. The first few nights were unbearable. I barely slept. Every time I closed my eyes, memories of him filled my mind. The way he laughed, the way he hugged me before leaving for duty, the way he always said, "I will come back." But this time he had not. 3 months passed that way, slow and painful days that all felt the same. I sat alone at night and stared at old photos on my phone. I listened to his voice messages just to hear his voice. Some nights I cried until morning. I told myself Daniel would want me to be strong, but moving forward without him felt impossible. Then Lily called, and her voice was shaking in a way I had never heard before. She was already standing outside when I pulled into her driveway. Her face was pale, her eyes were wide. She grabbed my hand and pulled me inside without explaining. Then she picked up her phone and turned the screen toward me and said, "You need to look at this." I could not move for several seconds. The man in the photo was sitting outside a small house, mountains behind him, a quiet road. He was thinner than I remembered. His beard had grown longer. There were bandages visible near his shoulder, but his face, his eyes, the scar near his eyebrow. It was Daniel. There was no doubt in my mind. Under the photo, there was a short message. The man had been found badly injured near the border after a military operation months ago. A local family had taken him in and helped him recover. "So he survived," I whispered. Lily nodded slowly. "That is what it looks like." "Why did he not contact me?" I asked. "Maybe he did not have a phone," she said. "Maybe he was too injured." The page belonged to a small medical clinic. The post had been uploaded 2 days ago. "We need to contact them," I said immediately. We sent messages, we called. For almost an hour there was silence. Then a notification appeared. The message from the clinic read, "Yes, the soldier in the photo was found injured after a military mission several months ago. He had multiple gunshot wounds and severe injuries. A local family brought him to us for treatment. He is now stable and recovering well." Tears filled my eyes. 3 months. I had believed my husband was gone for 3 months. And he had been alive the entire time. "I am going there," I said. Lily looked at me. "You mean now?" "Yes," I said. "I have to see him with my own eyes." For the first time in 3 months, I felt something that was not grief. Something that had a different shape entirely, hope. The flight, the long quiet road, the mountains surrounding everything, the simple clean clinic where a nurse greeted us and asked our names. When I told her why we were there, she nodded gently. "He is outside," she said, and pointed toward the back of the building. My entire body went still. Outside meant he was right there, just a few steps away. I walked toward the door. Every step felt heavy. I pushed it open Behind the clinic was a small garden, and sitting on a wooden bench was a man. The world around me disappeared. It was Daniel, thinner than before, faint scars near his shoulder and neck, but alive, breathing, sitting right in front of me. "Daniel," I whispered. He turned his head slowly. His eyes met mine. The tears I had been holding back for 3 months broke free completely. I ran toward him, but instead of standing and reaching for me, he looked confused. He stood up slowly. His eyes studied my face carefully. Then he said the words that stopped my heart. "I am sorry." His voice was calm and gentle. "Do I know you?" For a second, I thought I had heard him wrong. "Daniel," I said softly, "it is me." But he still looked at me as though I were a stranger. "Why are you crying?" he asked gently. Did something happen? Those words hit me like a wave. He did not know my face. He did not know my voice. He did not know my name. The doctor explained what had happened. During the mission, Daniel had been badly injured. The shock from the explosion and the blood loss had affected his memory. He could not recognize many things from his past, including me. That felt like a second loss on top of the first. For 3 months, I had believed my husband was dead. Now I had found him alive, but he looked at my face and saw a stranger. The doctor told me that memory like this can sometimes return if a person is surrounded by familiar people and places and moments from their past. So I stayed. Every day I spent time with him. I told him stories about our life together, how we met, how he proposed, our wedding day, the small jokes only we knew. I showed him photographs. I took him to places that had meant something to us. Days passed, then weeks. Daniel was always kind to me. He listened patiently, but his eyes still looked at me the way you look at someone you are trying to place and cannot. That quiet pain stayed in my chest every single day. Then one evening, about a month after I found him, I tried something different. I took Daniel to the small park where we had first met years ago. A few trees and a wooden bench. The same bench where we had talked for hours on the day we first became something to each other. We sat there as the sun went down and the sky turned orange and gold. Neither of us spoke for a while. Then slowly I began to sing. It was the song Daniel used to love. The song we always sang together on long car rides. The song he once sang to me on our anniversary. My voice was soft and shaking. The memories behind that song were too strong to hold steady. Daniel sat beside me in silence. At first, he just listened. Then, after a few seconds, I noticed something change. He was staring at me differently, not the polite, patient way he always looked at me. This time, something in his eyes had shifted. His expression became serious, then confused, then his eyes filled with tears. My heart stopped. He kept staring at me for a long moment. Then in a quiet voice that was barely above a whisper, he said my name, Clara. I could not breathe. It was the first time he had said my name since I found him. Daniel, I whispered back. He stood up and pulled me into a hug so tight, I felt it in every part of me. We both started crying, not the quiet kind. The kind that comes from months of pain and fear and hope finally breaking free at the same time. He held me and would not let go. And in that moment, I understood something I had been afraid to believe for a very long time. Love does not disappear just because memory does. It waits, patiently, until something familiar calls it back. Now I want to hear from you. Drop your city in the comments and tell me which moment in this story made you stop completely. Was it when the doctor said he cannot recognize many things from his past, including you? Was it when I sat beside him on that bench and began to sing? Or was it when he finally said my name? I read every single comment and I want to know. If this story gave you something today, please hit the like button right now. Subscribe to Jennifer's Story for new episodes every week. And the next story already on your screen is about a woman who received a letter from her husband 3 years after he disappeared. What was written inside it will leave you completely unable to breathe. Stay right there.